All right, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We are back for our second installment of the High Ticket Authors series. I am excited to get started today. My name is Jasmine Womack, and I help experts to transform their $1 million message into a best selling book and high ticket coaching program. And I'm doing this live stream series because there's a lot of there's a consensus like when it comes to writing a book or being an author that it is supposed to be um a cheap process. And a lot of, to be honest with you, a lot of events that I see for authors or a lot of content that I see directed at authors are not speaking to people who want to create true expertise and true credibility. It's not speaking to people who really want to be seen as the authority in their field. And that's why I am doing this high ticket author series. Like, whoever said that authors had to sell their books for $10.99? Whoever said that, you had just because you go the self-publishing route, then that means that your book has to look subpar. Whoever said that your book has to be published by a traditional publisher in order for you to be viewed as credible? Listen, I've worked with so many people, New York Times bestselling authors. I work with traditionally published authors. I work with independently published authors over the past several years. And even when you go the traditional route, you still have to do your own marketing and sales. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So today's episode is all about how to monetize your expertise. Because a lot of people say that they want to be a bestseller, but they never really stop to think about what that actually means. What does it mean to be a bestseller, right? A bestseller is the best at sales. That means that you have a solid marketing plan, that you have an audience, a defined audience that you are selling to, that you have an audience who is ready and eager to purchase your book. And it also means that you are actively making sales. Because when it comes to the writing process or when it comes to writing a best selling book, all too often, experts tend to stop at the book. That means that you put all of your effort into the writing process. You put all of your effort into the editing process. You put all of your effort into actually releasing your book to the public. And then what happens next? What happens? After your book is released, the momentum wanes and then you stop and then you go on to the next. And when you are building a thought leadership brand, when you are leveraging your book to build your business, then your book should be the beginning of the journey, not the end. So, we're going to talk about some different things that you need to have in place when you want to monetize your book beyond your book. And if you missed session one, you definitely want to go back and watch session one. It is still up across all social media platforms at this time. Okay. But when you want to monetize your expertise, you need to be thinking beyond the book before you write a single word. This means that number one, you want to think about your customer's journey. When your customer purchases their book, what other options are you giving them to work with you during the checkout that will also help you to increase your average cart order? Are you allowing them at the time that they purchase their book to purchase more than one book? Are you are you in are you incentivizing them to purchase a bulk order of books? Whether that bulk order is going to be 5 books at one time, 10 books at one time, 25 or 100 books at one time. I saw when I watch a lot of book launches. I pay attention. Like, a lot of people get caught up in the hoopla when celebrities launch their books. No, I look at the process. Okay. And one of the people who launched their books, I think it might have been, I don't know if it was last year, year before last, who did an amazing job at this, was Eric Thomas, Dr. Eric Thomas. He made the New York Times bestseller, and I think he might have made the New York Times bestseller twice. He was going after the third time. In order to make New York Times bestseller, guys, you have to have 5,000 people to purchase your book. And it has to be from a variety of sources. So if you know that you want to hit New York Times bestseller, then you need to start that process a year or two in advance with cultivating the type of audience that is going to catapult you to that success. That is nothing that you just start a month before. Like, it takes at least 1 to 2 years of planning and cultivating your audience to really do that if you don't already have an active audience that you've been nurturing and cultivating. Okay, so it's important to know that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, for the Wall Street Journal bestseller, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 2 to 3 thousand books. An Amazon bestseller is pretty much an algorithm. It's algorithm based. Okay, so if you want that bestseller status, you have to have an engaged audience who is ready to buy and who trusts you enough to purchase from you. Now, when they go to purchase your book, what other options are you giving them at checkout to continue to work with you? As I previously stated, are you giving them the opportunity up front to purchase multiple? Are you giving them the opportunity up front to purchase multiple copies of your book? Are you giving them the option? 5 books, 10 books, 50 books, 100 books up front. Are you giving them the option to opt in to a virtual workshop that you're doing? I saw Gabby Bernstein do this when she released her most recent book. So when people were able to purchase her book, they were also redirected to sign up for an active launch or an active workshop where she was going to be talking about the book. And then from that workshop, she opened up her membership. So when we think about funnels, I want you to think about the journey that your customer is going on, the opportunities that you are giving them to work with you when they purchase your book, and how you're going to further additionally monetize those opportunities down the road. Okay? Monetizing your expertise does not stop with the book. It starts with the book. And from there, you should be able to monetize other things. One of the things that I see often is speakers who don't have a book, or they drag their book getting one. They drag their feet getting a book. They drag their feet writing and self-publishing a book. And they're literally leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table because they don't have a passive a product to sell passively or to bundle in with their speaking packages. And so I can't tell you how often I see it where you have speakers that are traveling from place to place to place, getting on airplanes, negotiating these contracts, and they are actively depending on their physical selves, on their voice, and on their body to do the work, when they can literally add a substantial amount of money by negotiating or by bundling in book sales, bulk orders of their book with their speaking fees. Like, if you're speaking, it's insane for you to not have a book. Do you need to have a book to be a successful speaker? No. But can you make more money with the book as a speaker? Yes. Will you be viewed a notch up? Yes. And let me tell you this, a lot of times, I don't know why, well, I know why it is, but for some reason, a lot of people try to have this perception that if you self-publish a book, then you are less qualified than someone who goes and publishes their book with a traditional publisher. Let me tell you all this. I have clients who have self-published books. I have friends who have self-published books who can have marathons and revenue generated around people who have traditionally published books. Because the folks who went through the publisher to write their book, literally their hands are tied. They can't even sell their book how they want to or when they want to. They have the book, but because they don't have the audience, they're not able to get any traction. They don't have people actively purchasing the book on a continuous basis. And because they went through a traditional publisher, when they go to a speaking engagement, they're not able to say, hey, I want to sell a bulk order of books to this organization. They have to direct that organization to directly purchase from the publisher or from Amazon. And they would get a cut of that. Whereas I have friends and I have clients, they've sold thousands of books independently. But when you want to sell to corporations, your book has to be a certain quality. Yes, it needs to be bookstore quality. And there's a way to do that. Okay. So I want you to start thinking now. If you missed this isn't going to be a long live stream at all. But if you've missed the beginning of this, I want you to go back to watch the replay. I want you to start thinking now about your customer's journey. What does that journey look like from the time they purchase their book? Then what happens? Do they have an option to purchase a digital product? Do they have an option to purchase multiple books? Do they have an option to also simultaneously enroll in some type of virtual event? What is that journey from the virtual event? Where are they going? What is their journey? What does the whole entire launch process look like for you? I want you to think about this. Monetizing beyond your book. Speaking is an absolute must. And this is where we have to begin to shift our perspective of what speaking looks like. Speaking is not only speaking on stages, it's also speaking on podcasts, it's also speaking virtually to virtual audiences as well. And of course, you absolutely need some type of program or offer beyond your book, because when people read your book, they're going to want to come and work with you. Some people may choose to have a membership. Memberships work if you have large audiences because memberships tend to be lower cost. This is one of the reasons why I suggest, when you are in the brand building and business building phase and you have decades, you have 10, 15, 20 years of experience behind you. Like I said, you have alphabet soup behind your name. You have all of these professional credentials. You need to leverage that. You don't have to come in to the consulting space charging like a novice, because you're not a novice. You've been doing this for years. So the same thing that you likely do in your career, the same thing that you may be doing for other people, now it's time for you to leverage that same skill set and that same expertise to make it work for you. And you don't have to come in charging like a novice, because you're not. And that's what I want you to remember. And so I teach this. I'm at my live event, Published and Paid Live. It's called Author Alignment, where you have your book, a signature speech, a signature offer, and all of it is thematically related. So someone can come into your funnel with your book, and then they can hear you speak either on virtual stages like you're hearing me speak now, or in person, and then they'll continue to digest more of your information, and then they'll come into your next step offer. And this is why, and you have to look at it as if it's different levels of working with you. It's different levels of working with you. You have your free content, you have your book, and then for people who want more, they're going to continue to follow you and eventually work with you so that they can get all of the assistance that you offer. Okay? And so this is what I want you to start thinking about. monetizing your expertise. And we're going to be actively working on this in my free workshop that's coming up on Friday, Seven Figure Bestseller. If you have not yet registered, make sure that if you're on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio. If you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, you can go to www.7, the number 7 figurebestseller.com, all one word, and register. All right. And if you're ready to like really get down in the nitty-gritty of the work, then I definitely invite you to check out my live event, Published and Paid Live. It's October 11th and 12th. We're going to do a bonus VIP day for our VIP attendees. And right now our tickets are on early bird sale through the end of the month. We only have 60 spots remaining. Okay, we're only take 100 people in person. So we only have 60 spots remaining. So if you're ready to work with me and the team, you can go to www.publishedandpaidlive.com to secure your ticket. All right. I have to rock and roll. I hope that this was helpful and beneficial for you. I will be back tomorrow with the third installment of the High Ticket Author Series. And I hope that you all have an absolutely phenomenal day.